Wassim has a very interesting situation where I really couldn't understand everything about your profile. It's a very complicated job where you kind of fill in a gap between for insurance companies and hospitals. So tell us about that.
Wassim is an application service provider. It's a business-to-business model that connects healthcare providers or hospitals with healthcare payers, which are the insurance companies. The idea came to our mind, actually, me and the co-founder, Dr. Abdel Badr, I wish he was here with us, where when they first mandated the health insurance on all expats in Saudi. So we thought that there is a tremendous opportunity in the market because we were barely making any medical insurance, or the medical insurance as an industry was barely existing in the market in 2001. And the forecast was expecting the medical insurance to go up to 6 million when they were looking at the expats, and then 15 million insured members once they implement the regulation on Saudi. We've looked at the international models, and we found out that if technology is not adapted in such an industry in an early stage, the industry will be crippled by papers. Lots of paper transactions take place between the healthcare providers and insurance. Approvals, claims, invoices, and so on and so forth. And so basically when the idea came that let us think of establishing an electronic link, a B2B model that can connect the healthcare providers with the healthcare payers to basically automate and facilitate all the administration and financial transactions that usually take place between healthcare payers and providers. طبعا, as entrepreneurs then, and we were at that time in 2001, you couldn't find that number of, mashallah, private equity firms and venture capitalists who would really look into small to medium enterprise, and especially small to medium enterprise at the incubation stage, at the seed money, where you need to develop the idea. It was a business plan, where we need to put a proof of concept to the market. And I think one of our successes then is creating two major strategic alliances. The first strategic alliance was with a US company called Covadex then. It was a technology provider that have implemented a similar model to what we wanted to implement in the Saudi market. And it was serving a huge population in the US market, so they had the proof of concept. We've done a strategic alliance with them. We've signed a long-term relationship agreement. And then we came to the market looking into proving that concept to the ground. And then we were looking, as Gordon said, either bagging, stealing, or borrowing. So we were bagging everywhere. We bagged banks, we bagged angel investors. We've reached a lot of angel investors. I think what helped us very much in the market then was the availability of angel investors. Angel investors had money, and they were looking for entrepreneurs who could utilize that capital into a high growth business proposition. So we've started developing the concept, and I think the second success in creating a strategic alliance was with the Ta'awuniya, NCCI insurance company. At that time, it was the biggest and the only licensed insurance company in the Saudi market. They were looking into the future as well, so they were foreseeing the need to adapt some technological advances to really facilitate the huge expansion that is going to happen in the market. I think, alhamdulillah, we were lucky, we were there at the right time, in the right place. They've sponsored us, they liked the idea, they believed in the idea. And then we've agreed that we can form a strategic alliance, non-for-profit at the early stage. And it was built basically on trust and respect. We had the know-how from an IT point of view, they had the know-how from an insurance administration point of view. We've gathered our efforts and we've developed the project on a strategic alliance partnership. It wasn't a company then. After developing the project, alhamdulillah, the company looked feasible to be incorporated as a separate company that could be a standard business model that can be extended to the whole market, and not only an insurance company or one single insurance company. In 2003 May, I remember we incorporated the company. It was a partnership between Medformatics and Ta'awuniya. In 2004, we started the real operational revenues of the company. Alhamdulillah, through the life cycle of the company, we've passed through some good stages in creating other strategic alliances. One of that was basically inviting one of the biggest other insurance companies to participate as an equity shareholders in the company. I believe, I don't know whether I'm right or wrong, I believe in the smart money. These investors were adding lots of value to the company in terms of market share, in terms of bringing in their market to the company, basically for two reasons. And this is something that is very sensitive always in evaluating strategic alliances.
Hand over the phone.
So this is something very risky in establishing sometimes strategic alliances for two reasons. If objectives are not very well defined, of what do we need out of this strategic alliance, what do we expect the outcome to be of this strategic alliance, things can go messy in the middle. Alhamdulillah, we've managed to identify good high-level objectives to be delivered. But usually, because they're customers and they're shareholders, so sometimes when they sit on the board, they look into the company as customers, so they want to reduce price. But then they wear the other hat, where they want more revenues to increase shareholders' value. So you get always that mix in the board between the reason of the strategic alliance and the company's real goal, which is basically increasing shareholders' value. This is in brief what we do in Wassim, and some of the milestones in establishing good strategic alliance, inshallah, from good strategic alliance that we create.
So you found a gap between hospitals, medical institutions, and
Insurance
companies. So you created this concept. Did you really create the concept, or you borrowed it? Is it unique to Saudi Arabian market, or do they have a similar concept which you borrowed from Europe or America?
To the Saudi market, then it was new. However, some insurance companies have been thinking about it and have been actually introducing such services to their own benefit. But the concept and the model was established in the US long ago. And this is why we created that strategic alliance with the US company, where they had the proof of concept. They've implemented an exactly similar model called Midunet, I remember. It has been acquired 3 times later on, this company. But what they've created is basically they've created an electronic link that connects the insurance companies with the healthcare providers. Again, to reach to a paperless environment. طبعا الobjective is not paperless. One of our big mistakes is when we came to that market, copying that model. We were thinking and we were selling ourselves as paperless, paperless, paperless. We found out that papers are the cheapest here and nobody cares really about paper. But talk about accelerating cash flow, talk about real value added services. So the model was in existence, to be honest. We just customized it to the Saudi market need as per the know-how that we've adapted from our strategic alliance.
So you had a lot of quick wins.
Alhamdulillah, inshallah they were quick wins, yes.
Well, it seems to me this model is very close to the government, or it should be regulated by the government. Do you feel that something like that is going to happen?
Yeah, we always try to help. We lack lots of initiatives by regulators, to be honest. We're lacking many standards to regulate our industry. Because we don't want what happened to the insurance sector 10 and 20 years ago, where Mickey Mouse companies come, establish themselves, collect some money, and they just leave. Because the market were not regulated well. So to be honest, there are good initiatives by regulators, but we're still lacking so much in standardizing this market. Because once you move electronic, you need lots of standards in order to utilize the information that you're exchanging. There is an additional value added. We're transacting healthcare data. This healthcare data relates to you, relates to me. If regulations start using these data, start analyzing it, they will know about a disease before it spreads, because we're instantly updating their systems by the most frequent diseases, by a disease spreading in a certain area. It's the next economy. Start utilizing this data. Now we are, I think, in the new economy, where we're just collecting the data. And we hope regulations will develop to help us, again, provide a standard way of service and to, not to block competition, but to standardize the entrance of any competitors to the market.
Before